Akov is known for tearing up the neuro drum and bass scene, but lately he's been dropping these filthy, groovy, almost cheeky little neuro breaks. Simple sound but insane energy and clever little tricks that make it all snap together. In this video I will break down how he makes the weird work and why it hits so hard. You can grab this full project from my Patreon below with millions of others, but right now let's jump into it. The first thing to nail is the drums. Let's talk about the kick drum because that is very special too. For special basses we need to use special drums, and because the bass is like really unique and crazy, we need to use really crazy drums too, so that is why the kick drum is heavily saturated. I use a drum sampler because there is an awesome trick that I applied here, so I thought that modifying the kick could be beneficial. Luckily in the drum sampler we have this pitch envelope, so I basically just modulated the amount, pulling back the transient on the repeated kicks. Trick 2, this hi-hat sound really special, because without a trick, these are just simple hi-hats, but I applied an auto pan on a pretty high range, as you can see it is on 50 Hz, except the second one. So the first one, second one, is without the effect, third one, and the two shakers, because the auto pan creates the illusion that it is very heavily compressed and saturated along with the saw. This is how you can go with a really saturated sound without actually being saturated. Trick number 3, the percussion loop later in the song. So I use this percussion loop as a source. Click on slice a new MIDI track. The transient port is perfect to separate the sounds. So after it we got this rack. Then all I had to do is create this MIDI clip with all these notes and set an arpeggiator to random. Then I recorded it into a new audio track, and all I had to do is just pick my favorite part. And the drums are complete. This is the main bass in the original Akov song, and it does not look like a regular bass sound. It contains lots of chaos and also a lot of mid-low mod, but in a good way. So the easiest way to achieve this is using a FAM. I use operator because this is what the suite owners have for free and it is awesome. So first I use this waveform, then I modulated it with almost a saw wave. So right now we definitely need to use a filter. But the original contains some pitch movement too, so let's apply pitch envelope. But it still does not contain the mid-low chaos, mid-low mod, and this is where operator C comes in with a 1 octave lower course. Because of this I had to crank up the MIDI to 1 octave higher using the pitch module, and operator D with the white noise is simply here by just adding a little more texture to the transient. With Pro Q I tamed the mid-range and also a little bit of highs to it. So this was the simple but crazy bass sound, but there is one more layer on top of it that is actually crazy simple but crazy effective, and that is the laser. So it is basically just a sine wave with a pitch envelope on it. LFO2 and LFO1 modulates the pitch, because I thought this way it is a lot easier to separate the body and the transient movement of the pitch. Then I heard in the original there was some vibrating sound on the sustained part of the laser, so I added an FM modulator to it. So now you can hear the sound on the laser. And to emphasize more the transient, I used the bode. And with some noise and low pass filtering, the whole thing comes to life. On the EQ8 I had to pull back the very squeaky kind of frequency. That does not sound good in the context, and basically this is all. And finally the vocals. That sounds good, but it definitely needs some treatment. First, as in the original, an overdrive. But it brought up some frequencies that we definitely need to treat, especially the very highs, the very lows, and the squeaky 2K-ish range. And then a short delay. Right, so you can grab this project from my Patreon below with the Neurobreaks Serum 2 preset pack, and also click here for my academy if you want to learn a lot more about music production. See you guys next time. Peace!